Hold on. You should check your notifications right now.
Whoa, wait, is this real?
Hold on.
What?
Huh.
Whoa, hold on.
Hold on.
This is not real. Why did Shams tweet this?
I mean,
Hold
you're
on.
looking like you're seeing a ghost right now or something.
Bro, Mike, oh my gosh, Mike, oh my gosh.
What happened?
Luka just got traded to the Lakers. I'm not trolling.
The Lakers just got Luka Doncic.
No, they didn't.
Man, Luka got traded. You lying!
What the actual? What?
This is not real. Why did Shams tweet? Someone hacked him. This is a hack.
Anthony Davis, Max Christie.
This
Is this fake?
It's fake.
Did he get hacked?
Please don't tell me that your dumbass
Oh my
got
God, don't
fucking
tell
NBA
me, bro.
sent held.
It's fake?
No, it's not fake.
Are you sure? Real. I know, but you didn't get hacked.
People thought he got hacked and he literally responded, no, this is real.
Yeah, because he's hacked still.
No, ESPN, no, on God. I just got an ESPN notification on God. On God, I'm not even lying.
I just don't understand, bro. Traded Luka Doncic for the Lakers for Anthony Davis.
I'm not in the mood, really, man. It hurts me from the inside.
What the fuck is going? Why did they do this?
What the fuck just happened?
Oh my gosh, what?
Oh, this isn't real.
This doesn't make sense.
There's no fucking way this is real.
Yo, Slow! No way that's real.
He's crashing out.
They just traded their future for AD.
Dallas is so stupid.
Swear to God, if Luka traded, I will never watch a Mavs game.
The night Luka Doncic got traded.
In the hours leading up to the trade, I had a fantastic night.
The Mavericks ruined a perfectly good Saturday for me.
I'll never forget the night Luka was traded. I remember exactly what I was doing.
It was a Saturday night in the middle of the season and there was no game. These are rare. You want to take advantage of them.
It's having a great Saturday.
I had just watched the Royal Rumble, my favorite sport, professional wrestling.
I was playing video games in some good company, enjoying some beverages as adults are wont to do on a Saturday night.
I was in like a Twitter space talking to some of my friends.
It was a boring chores weekend, and I was rewarding myself with a glass of wine at a bar.
Having a great time, not a care in the world.
And I was about 5 minutes away from going to sleep when I look down at my phone and I see this notification come through that says, Luka Doncic has been traded from the Dallas Mavericks to the Los Angeles Lakers. And the first thought that goes through my mind is, oh, Shams got hacked.
The Shams tweet dropped, and I was like, oh, no, this is fake. Shams is 100% been hacked.
All of a sudden, I see that Shams, his Twitter was hacked.
Because there's no way in hell that this actually went down.
Someone texted me about this. We laughed about it for a second. We examined the syntax of the Shams tweet. I was convinced that the tweet itself didn't sound like him.
And then a couple of minutes later, I see the next tweet that says, no, this actually is real. And I thought to myself, that's exactly what someone would say when their Twitter account had been hacked.
Even when he followed up and said, this is real, he's never had to say that before. He doesn't say things like that. He doesn't word his tweets like that.
For the first 5 minutes, no one believed it. People laughed at everyone else. They even thought it was even believable that it happened.
And I was convinced that it was fake, that it was a hacked tweet, hacked account. I thought trading Luka was a great way to prove it.
So I'm trying to find anyone else to confirm that this trade had actually happened. And the first one that I saw to actually confirm it, Brad Townsend of the Dallas Morning News, who said, no, the unthinkable has happened. Luka Doncic has in fact been traded from the Dallas Mavericks to the Los Angeles Lakers. And I lost my shit.
It was screaming. I know everyone kind of saw that video of like all the people like screaming like, what the heck, Anthony Davis was traded for Luka Doncic? Like that's kind of what the chat was. Pure chaos.
My phone buzzes. It is Kevin Gray. I believe he's called me maybe twice in my life. And so I'm thinking there must be like a family emergency or something. Like this has got to be really bad. It was way worse than I could have even imagined. He just calls me frantic.
I was like, hey,
Bobby, have you checked your phone? Bobby, have you seen it? I'm like, what? Kind of delirious.
Like, check your phone. I need you to check your phone right now.
Okay. The first like 25 things I see are just cuss word. And then I finally get to it. Shams Charania, the Dallas Mavericks have traded Luka Doncic. And I'm like, holy shit.
And then reality started sitting in. I've got to tab out right now. I've got to go. This is real.
And we all just were like, this is like the craziest moment ever in the NBA.
And from there, chaos.
All I remember after that is a frantic planning and operation. When are we going live? How soon? How do we unpack this?
So trying to plan a show in matters of minutes to try to get this all together, to publicly deliver this news to thousands of Mavericks fans who are in shock that their favorite player and superstar that just led them to the NBA Finals is now gone. It was nerve-wracking.
And so the next thing you know, like it could have been 5 minutes later, it could have been 30 minutes later, I have no idea, but we're live.
And I think it was the show itself where it started to feel real.
The most unlikely of breaking news, the Dallas Mavericks have traded Luka Doncic to the Los Angeles Lakers. This is not fake. I'm not trying to psych you out. Ashton Kutcher not showing up here. This is real. One of the biggest bombshells to have dropped in the NBA over the last 25 years, and that's not hyperbole.
I worked for that team for 10 years. The Mavs have been a part of my life for a really long time. It's more family than team to me. And so there's a lot going on in my mind whenever this is happening. I'm thinking about the fans, I'm thinking about myself, I'm thinking about Luka, I'm thinking about the team, I'm thinking about the whole deal. And like, how can you even make sense of something like that, let alone when you're about 14 whiskeys in, like I was?
A lot of people that I know that worked with me at the Mavs or at work in the league have been texting me. Everybody that I've ever met in my life has been texting me or calling me, because this is probably the most unexpected moment, I think, in the history of Dallas sports.
I would describe myself, my feelings, what I was feeling, almost like I was locked in a way that most NBA news cannot make me feel. Like, this was so unprecedented.
There's no scenario where the Dallas Mavericks trading Luka Doncic, a player who was their franchise, the guy who was going to be here, the guy who was the next Dirk. There's no explanation that makes sense to me.
Part of the reason you can't do this is because of the fan base, because of the relationship that's built up, because this was a player who made it exceptionally clear he did not want to leave. He had no plans to leave.
Luka is one of the most popular basketball players in the world. If you asked Mavs fans that have been to any game at the arena this season, probably 70% of them would say that he's their favorite Mav of all time, even more than Dirk, who you raised a statue for a couple years ago. And engraved on that statue is "Loyalty never fades away."
Knowing how much Dirk meant to the city, 21 years with one franchise, you beautifully transition from Dirk to Luka, and you have this passing of the torch, and then he takes the team to the NBA Finals. He's connected to the community, connected to the city. He's become one of the most popular players in the NBA and became part of the fabric of the DFW area. And to have that ripped out in the middle of the night with no warning, shocked and upset doesn't even come close to crystallizing how I felt.
There's like 2,000 or 3,000 people in our chat. There were grown men crying in the chat. Just everyone is melting down. Like, everyone is.
You have literally traded away a Hall of Fame player at 25 years of age to the Los Angeles Lakers for a player in Anthony Davis, who maybe at this stage in his career has 2-3 good years of being at the peak of his height as a player. If he stays healthy, there is no world where this trade makes any sense. You decided to move on from that guy. I'm not going to introduce any logic to this because there is none, period.
It felt like a city and a team and a fan base didn't deserve this, given all the things that the player had already been able to achieve, and what it felt like was another 10 years of what could have been simply torn away in the middle of a night.
You chose this path.
Oh my God.
You chose the shorter path, and you chose to advance the timeline, and now you have chosen to give up any chance of a long-term timeline.
I was aware that there was friction. I was aware that the relationship between Luka Doncic and Nico Harrison was rocky.
All I can tell you is that I don't know if Nico thought he could win with Luka. I don't know.
Oh my gosh. You just
that is my
went to the
understanding
NBA
from
Finals.
But that was, in my head, setting up a future storyline. It was setting up some conflict that they would have to deal with. Just not at this trade deadline, not in that moment. I could have never imagined Luka Doncic would be traded by the Dallas Mavericks.
All the different moments that you would hear about the overweight things, you had to think about like who was leaking some of this stuff. I'm like, oh, it probably was Nico Harrison / his camp. So I'm like, oh, this guy literally must have hated Luka Doncic's guts.
The Mavericks had major concerns about moving forward with Luka Doncic due to his constant conditioning issues.
The one way to get people to tune you out whenever you use that as some sort of justification for breaking their hearts is when the player that you trade Luka for is like the meme. He's like the butt of every injury joke.
Probably the worst moment of the night for me, or of the stream at least, I was going into cup mode, okay? I'm going into cup mode. I'm like, well, Luka's out. Maybe he's gonna be out for a really long time. So like,
you know, I think that a team with Kyrie and AD can be really good and make the playoffs. I mean, the one difference between, I don't actually know this. I'm not trying to make a joke. Is AD healthy right now?
No,
is he playing
he's out, right? He's out for at least a week right now.
Oh my God, are you serious?
That's the whole problem. Anthony Davis is injured right now.
Oh shit. Oh no, that's so much worse.
Damn.
Like
okay.
Again, he's not even healthy.
Oh my God.
In the trade you just made to get for him.
The very idea of trading for Anthony Davis to be a part of the future, knowing the kind of injury history that he's had, and you trade for him while he's hurt.
It was terrible. There was no making sense of it. There was no rationalizing it or anything.
This is my 32nd year covering the league. I've covered a lot of deals in my time, and for this to unfold in the way it did, such surprise. I can tell you throughout the Mavs' own organization, there is shock because the front office has kept it quiet.
I remember during that conversation, I'm just like, this is just an absolute betrayal. This is a complete and utter betrayal in a league where superstars only get moved if they want to. For the Mavs to trade that guy the way they did in the middle of the night without him asking out was just, it defied everything that I thought I knew about the way that the NBA works and teams work.
Got it.
They're in the corner, Luka! Oh! Goes in! How did he do it? How did he do it? That is Luka magic!
Time has not healed any wounds. The trade gets worse and worse by the day.
That was a night I'll never forget, a true where were you moment for me, and I think for Mavs fans all around the world. For many of whom it was the last night that they called themselves a Mavs fan. You know, I'm sure there were people that watched that show that have not been back in our chat since because it's just too much for them.
Doncic for the lead. Got it. What a shot.
Still loose, Luka got it back! Unbelievable! It is a miracle!
To me, there's no question that the Luka trade is the most staggering decision ever made within sports history. The feelings I had the night of the Luka trade, I don't think I've ever had those regarding anything in my time covering the NBA.
It is party time in Dallas, Texas, and the dude throwing the party is Luka Doncic.
This wasn't the biggest sports story. This wasn't the biggest local story. This was the biggest story around the world for a 2-week period.
Doncic pulls up. Bang! Bang! Doncic wins the game at the buzzer.
From all the editors and just all the other just like regular journalists, like the crime reporter would ask like, whoa, Luka was traded? And you'd like, wait, this person would never come up to the sports section. So that's what I kind of do. This is transcendent sports, essentially.
It touched the entire NBA community, like the amount of sympathy that came in from other fan bases about, hey man, I am so sorry that this happened to you and your team. That just gives you an idea of what the rest of the NBA world thought about it.
Here's Luka, gets it away, it's gone! A Doncic dagger!
Really, for the first time in my life, I think I saw an NBA team peer into its fans' soul and just go.
What really stands out to me is it was a testament that fans have power, that fandom is a thing that even billionaire sports owners have to listen to.
Fire Nico! Fire Nico!
I was in a space with a Mavs fan when this did go down. He was beside himself. He still has yet to recover. He still has a jersey. He got his son a jersey. Still watches dang near every Luka game. He's always gonna be a Mavs fan, but he like roots for Luka Doncic to do well still to this day.
Dumbest trade in NBA history. This will be talked about for years and decades. This is one of those trades that you look back on and you wonder 50 years from now, what in the world was that dude thinking?
Draft night 2018, they pull off the trade and I'm backstage and I'm just hugging all of our coworkers, all of my coworkers. We're like partying backstage. We're like, we got this guy. We have the thing. This is the moment. And so to see his whole career happen and everything, it was amazing. It was a privilege. It was a pleasure. The thing that I've said is whether or not Luka stays for his entire career or leaves, enjoy it while you can, because one day it is going to end. I thought it was going to be in like 2029 or 2030, but it's 2025 and Luka's no longer on the team.
But I think if anything, experiencing that together brought us all closer together.
And, you know, it's a lot to digest. It's a lot to try and understand.
And some of the key figures in that are gone. That does not make what happened any better. It still sucks complete ass, but
it's gonna be tough to move on from. It's gonna be tough to rationalize, but we're gonna keep talking about this team.
We're still here and we're still together.